So when did we stop killing and eating people's lunch? The Jews. It's true. It's absolutely true. And of course it spills over into Christianity and Islam. These are religions that ultimately are traced back to the principle of one God, monotheistic religions. And they teach goodness. Goodness. What's a goodness? A person is sick. Don't take his shoes. Heal him. A person is weak. Strengthen him. A person can't look after himself. Look after him. A person dies. Bury him. So in his mind, correctly, Jewish people make humanity weak. And it's a disease. It's a plague. And we're all over the place. All true. All true. The Jewish people have existed for 4,000 years. And over this time, humanity as a family has learned what it means to look after poor people and hungry people and cold people and dead people and children. And what we don't use this word anymore, the retarded. These are basic, the Avraham Avinu's teachings on the most elementary level that are not ours anymore. They belong to the whole world. And he identified who's the source of all this weakness, of all this softness. The Jew. I got to kill him. Why? I want to create a strong man, not a weak man. I want to create a maximally evolved human being, yeah? Stalin also hated the Jews, but why? Because they're political. Because they're agitators. You can't control them. You never know what they're going to say. You create a political order, I have a bunch of rules, and then one Jew gets up and says, I protest, this is unfair. Think about it. So you see what's happening here? Two of the greatest anti-Semites hated Jewish people for 180-degree opposite reasons. One sees the Jew as soft, and the other sees the Jew as an agitator, as a troublemaker, uncontrollable. Stalin said this. Just like Hitler said this. The problem with the Jew is that he's a troublemaker, he's a revolutionary. He's going to come out against me, and I need to be able to control my civilization. So I have to get rid of the intelligentsia, I have to get all the people likely to oppose me. Put these two together. No, it makes sense out of a Jew. It doesn't make sense.
So the Jew's no good because he's weak, and the Jew is no good
because he's an agitator.
He's strong.
That's right.
He speaks up.
That's right. And when one of these two poles becomes too dominant, you have a sick Jew. When a Jew becomes a bleeding heart, I'm sorry for raising politics in the cold winter of Minnesota, it's an issue. And when a Jew becomes too principled and loses his softness,
God forbid.
Oh.
No. It was against a particular shita, which is common among Orthodox Jews. So that's but nothing against you. No.
I'm still good?
Yeah, you're still. I don't know about that, but you're still young.
You're all right. I don't care what the FBI says.
You see, I have a right to say to you that you're judging me, or you're potentially judging me. So now we have to decide if you're potentially good.
No.
Good. Okay. Let me continue.
It's a mission to borrow an hours. I don't do that.
Okay, very good. I was making a joke, but that's also fine. Now, by the way, if you put this online, you got to edit all the garbage out. Right. Then you can't put it online. If you combine these two ideas together, you understand what a Yid is. And a Yid is really both of these things. This is really what the Jewish people are. It's very deep. It's very profound. And I'm going to say it again. You cannot explain it in a box. There's a component here. There's a component here. When you add it up, there's a component here which is bigger than reason. There's something here. There's something about it. The combination, these character traits, goes to something very deep. And in the language of the Bible, language of the Torah, right? This is one of the classic contradictions in the Chumash, where God is angry with the Jewish people. Why? Because they're stiff-necked. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, forgive the Jewish people. Why? Because they're stiff-necked. And as children, you learn this and say, when you're a little kid, you don't learn to question. Not you don't learn to question because you're afraid to question. You learn to question because you assume that if adults tell you something, it's got to be true. And I remember learning, I was in the fourth grade, I was a kid, I was 8. I was 8 years old in the fourth grade. Things were different back then. And Rabbi Engel was my teacher, and we came across on one page, Am Creative.
Rabbi Engel?
Yes.
Pesach. He's Pesach's Chavrusa.
Okay, Florida.
Yeah.
And then the next page, Mamash, a page later, Moshe Rabbeinu says, no, you have to forgive them, you have to embrace them. Why? The stiff neck. And it was such an obvious contradiction, but I must be missing something. And of course, what you're missing is that the conversation between Hashem and Moshe is really, it's not an argument. Hashem is explaining, if you will, you can't control a Jew. And Moshe Rabbeinu answers, you're right, you can't control a Jew, but you can't kill a Jew either. And the principle is the same. I'm creative, a man of a hard neck. I'm going to tell you